Well, folks, one thing we know for sure is that MAGA has absolutely no substance other than cruelty and hatred. And they have no real ideas or solutions or ways to fix our problems. And the reason they don't have that is because their leader, Donald Trump, has none of that. He has no ideas or solutions. He's been repeating the same talking points ever since he came down the escalator. And Donald Trump realizes that if he can thrive on chaos and hysteria, and he can create as much chaos and hysteria as possible, then he can control his flock. They just don't realize how much he has them under their thumb. And they don't realize that when they buy into every fearful piece of rhetoric that he puts out there, he's just got them under his control. He's got them under his spell. And it's sad that they don't see through it. They always want to talk about the fear of a dictator. They always want to talk about a dictator taking their guns. And they think that Donald Trump is going to let them keep their guns. But I would point out that it's been them telling us this entire time that the dictators want to have taken the guns in the past. And we've been pointing out that Trump says he wants to be a dictator on day one. So to them, I would say this. Don't you see that when other people steps out of line with Trump, he immediately is done with them? So if one day you decide you want to step out of line with this guy, he's going to be done with you. And do you really think he's going to allow you to be armed if you step out of line with him? It's something they should really stop and think about. But something else Donald Trump has mastered is the grift. He knows how to grift, and he knows how to create political theater, and he's even stooped so low as to go out there and just wave to empty rooms. Take a look at this.
See you later.
When I see clips like that, I'm reminded of Colonel Tom Parker. He was Elvis's manager, and he was a true grifter and a con man, and he knew how to exploit Elvis better than anybody. And what he would do back in the day before Elvis could fill up a stadium, he wouldn't let him play in one. He would purposely book a venue that was way too small. That way people would be lined up outside and he could take pictures of that. And then he would have Elvis wave to empty rooms. He would have Elvis pose behind whatever green screen he could to try to make it look like he truly was the king of rock and roll. And he ended up getting Elvis over in the process. But Donald Trump has used this political theater for the bad. He's used this political theater to just continue to push his cruelty and hatred and his division. And it's truly sad to watch. And some of his political theater is so disgusting and so insulting to people's intelligence that I truly hate to cover it. But this is a story that I feel like we should, because it's just the lowest of the low. This here is from Midas Touch, and it was written by J.D. Wolf. Unwelcome black voters for Trump bus draws nearly an empty parking lot. Folks, this is truly embarrassing. I can't believe I'm actually reading this in 2024. But MAGA Republican allies at the Black Conservative Federation pulled up to a shopping plaza in Baltimore and drew just a handful of people in a nearly empty parking lot. Director Deontay Johnson could be seen on the microphone addressing the small assembly with a small speaker. Local media interviewed people who stated they didn't appreciate the bus disrupting their day. The bus has phrases, better with Trump on one side, and get this, black voters for Trump on the other. National Black Justice Coalition founder Keith Boykin posted video of the Trump local media coverage to Twitter. In the video, the group can be seen addressing a near empty parking lot. Folks, take a look at this. This is truly embarrassing. I really hate to even play this for you, but take a look.
People shopping at the plaza weren't shy about voicing their displeasure with the visit.
Why would you send some of your Trump people here in our area of Morgan State? I've been living here since the 1970s. I'm 65 years old. It don't make sense for you to send someone out and thinking somebody's going to follow you that way.
I'm extremely shocked and angry and appalled, and it's disrespectful to have this big old Trump, whatever this is, in this parking lot right now. It's a slap in the face after he clearly said that he's not for the black community or anybody else.
Look at that, folks. Look how disgusting. And it truly is a slap in the face to every black voter out there when you think back on Trump and his whole get that son of a bitch off the field and everything that he's done over the years, calling for the execution of the Central Park Five. I could sit here all day long and talk about that. And then to come out with this bus, it's clearly just him trying to exploit people, and it's so disgusting to watch. But right here, the few that are in attendance appear to be media and MAGA operatives. Speaking of the media, one man said it doesn't make sense for the Trump bus to expect people to start supporting Trump because of the visit. A woman stated she was shocked, angry, and appalled to have the disrespectful Trump bus in the parking lot. After all the things Trump said, the shopper said Trump is not for the black community or anyone else. Republican candidate Kimberly, I can't pronounce that last name, I guess that's Klasick, maybe, is part of the struggling bus tour. MAGA operative Michaela Montgomery, who hugged Trump at an Atlanta Chick-fil-A, was there too. You can see here. Trump has repeatedly claimed Montgomery was a random Chick-fil-A customer, but Montgomery admitted to knowing ahead of time about Trump's visit. Trump has desperately tried to win over black supporters, but continues to associate with the likes of Charlie Kirk, who attacks MLK. Trump himself has attacked Kamala Harris for being black and of Indian heritage. He calls Charlottesville protesters very fine people. A MAGA operative at a recent event he headlined waved a white boy summer flag. I mean, folks, this is just so insulting to everyone involved. And here he is. Thank you. Together we will make America great again. Blah, blah, blah. A black barbershop owner stated he was misled into thinking he was hosting a business roundtable to help black small business owners, but he was appalled when his shop was used as a Trump campaign prop. If Trump wants to win over the black vote, he has a strange way of showing it. Well, J.D. Wolf, I could not agree with you anymore. It's just truly sad and disgusting that Trump is out there doing these things. But look, right there in that one article from Midas Touch, look how many receipts J.D. Wolf brought right there. Look how many times he pointed out that Trump has exploited the black community. That's the thing. We're not just randomly pulling the stuff out of our ass, folks. That's the one point I've tried to make to people so many times. Well, you guys are just coming up with this stuff. You're trying to make him look bad. No, we're not trying to make him look bad. He's doing a damn good job of that on his own. He's going out there making himself look bad. And then when he goes out there and does these things, it's not going to win over black supporters. One of my favorite TikTokers that I follow, Alabama Nick, he made a great point. And when I heard this, I thought, you know what? That is so true. He was talking about how that in the South, white people are brought up to believe that Democrats are the absolute scum of the earth. And that's true. We're taught that. But he pointed out that black people aren't raised up the same way. They're just taught to recognize racism and vote for the party that is the least racist towards them. And he said it's just always been the Democratic Party. That's why they go for that. So you know for a fact, if that's how they're raised, they can see through this type of rhetoric from Trump, and they see it for the racism that it truly is. And when he has someone there using them as a stage prop, they're already there, but then he tries to pass it off like there's someone random. Does he not realize how insulting it is, not just to black people, but to white people and everyone involved? Because, I mean, we're sitting back watching this guy, and I can't count the times in my life that I've had to say to black people, hey, we're not all that way. You know, especially when they come down south, I have to say, you know what? These loudmouth rednecks, they don't speak for all of us. There's blue dots here. There's people here that's got a voice of reason. There's people here who's tired of the hatred. There's people here who's tired of the cruelty. There's people here who's tired of the division. We have to say that stuff over and over and over again. So when Trump's out there spewing this shit, even though I'm not a Republican, even though that I'm never going to vote for Trump in a million years, and I'm never going to vote for a Republican in the foreseeable future because of the way their party is so brainwashed and hijacked. I mean, even though I'm in no way aligned with them, I still feel like I need to say, we're not all like that. That's not who we are. It's just so disgusting that he continues to exploit people the way he does, and it's an insult to everyone involved. And when you sit back and share these kind of things and say, oh, look, Trump had a bus show up, and he had black people there on this bus with him, the fact that you don't see that it's all just for stage and it's all just for theater and it's an insult to everyone's intelligence, it just really speaks volumes about the kind of character that you have. I hate to say it, but it's just true. All we can do is continue to point these things out. I know it gets tiresome. I know that you guys support the content I do, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you so much for hitting the subscribe button and coming along on this ride with me. But you guys send me messages. You guys leave comments. And I know so many of you said, Brando, we mute the clips while Trump is talking because we're so tired of hearing it. And that's the thing. We're all so tired of his rhetoric, and we want to move past it. We want to move past this kind of thing. And you know what? Let the Republicans pick up the pieces from the mess they made, because it's really all of them's fault at the end of the day, even the ones that he would refer to as rhinos. I'm glad they came around, but if they'd have had some better ideas to start with, they would have never ended up in this mess. And if they hadn't let him get control of their party, we wouldn't be in this mess. So we're going to be here trying to pick up the pieces for years to come. Let them pick up the pieces and let them bring somebody back to the forefront and try to come off with some sort of voice of reason. Until then, as long as they try to double down on that crap, we're going to see through it. And they're not going to have a Republican president for years to come. And it's all because of this type of rhetoric and this type of stupidity. So when they sit back and complain, because when Kamala wins, I guarantee you she's going to win again, and we're going to have her for 8 years. And when they're sitting there going, oh my God, we've had 12 years of Democrats. Well, you couldn't let go of Trump. You couldn't listen to us. You couldn't throw him under the bus, no pun intended. You just had to keep rolling with it. He has left such a stain on American history. It's going to take forever. I don't think Ajax could ever take that stain off. But we're going to keep working to try, and we're going to keep calling out this political theater as bad as it is. I'll be honest with you, folks. I get embarrassed for them reading these stories because it's that cringe. MAGA is the absolute walking embodiment of cringe. But to sit back and say nothing, I just feel like that's compliance. So I'm never going to shut up about it.